Assyria was a civilization in Mesopotamia on the upper Tigris River. The civilization lasted many centuries, but was most prominent between 1600 BC and 612 BC. Assyria had several advantages over Babylonia. Assyrians could farm without the elaborate irrigation that was needed in Babylonia. Also, they received an adequate amount of rainfall, as well as getting water from the upper Tigris River and its tributaries.
Oh, ooh, it's wait, cats and dogs out here. Oh, this is much protected now. Nothing can. Ah! 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 No! Ah!
Assyria also had rocks and stones that could be used for building. There were two disadvantages, however. Assyria was often attacked by barbarians who raided their villages.
Help me.
Barbarians! Whoa! The land was also harder to cultivate or grow crops in.
Oh, such a pretty plant. We're so.
You're hard to cultivate, so this is my plant. It doesn't belong to you, you know. It's mine. So you can just stop and go cry to your little river. It's mine. You're harder to cultivate. Assyrians were a Semitic-speaking people who arrived in Mesopotamia about 2000 BC. Assyria was named after its original capital, Ashur. Assyrians developed a thriving trade in Anatolia, Asia Minor. Eventually, the Babylonians became stronger under the leadership of King Hammurabi, and the Assyrians grew weaker. So eventually, the Hittites drove the Assyrians out of Anatolia, and the Assyrians became part of the Mitanni kingdom, who was known for bringing trained horses, sit, roll over, play dead, very good, and chariots into this part of the world.
Let's go. Let's go. I have places to be, things to do, and you're just galloping along like you have all the time in the world. Well, I don't have all the time in the world.
You're so fat. Gradually, the Assyrian power grew, and they were able to develop a standing army, which is composed. Standing army. Yeah, thank you. Which is composed of soldiers who choose the army as their career. When the soldiers are not fighting, they are still in the army training to fight. This was a revolutionary idea in this period. Other countries used citizen soldiers who fought in a war, and after the war was over, resumed their lives working at their former craft or career. The Assyrian soldiers were fierce and cruel. They not only had soldiers on foot, which is who you see now, fighting on, well, feet, but they also had a cavalry, which is composed of men on horseback. They also had archers. Whenever a captured city was plundered and looted, they A, made the people slaves, or murdered them.
Dead. Go.
The people who were in the captured cities were required to pay taxes and tribute to the Assyrians. The Assyrians built forts close to these cities and appointed governors to run the forts. The governors then sent back news reports to the king. The red pony. There's a pony in this town and it's red and the king needs to know. King!
What kind of garbage is this?
Good garbage. That was the first mail delivery service. However, the success of the Assyrians was also their undoing. Because their kingdom was so large, it was impossible to maintain. There were too few soldiers, so mercenaries were hired to serve in the army. A mercenary is a foreign soldier hired by another country to fight in its war. I fight in war.
Yes, you're fighting in the war. Now let's go to that war.
Eventually, the Assyrians were vanquished by the Medes, Chellenes, and the Babylonians. The capital city of Nineveh was razed. Some of their achievements are that they created the first library. Like to check out a book?
Yeah, I want this one. I like this book.
Okay, I've got to
like
write it
this
down
book.
now.
I like reading these books. I like
I
this
have to
book.
write it
This is a nice
down.
book. I like these books.
Fine, take all the books.
No!
Take all the books. See if I care. They also built a system of roads, which is very interesting indeed. Okay, around the chair, take a left, then a right. Then, stop pulling. And we're there! As we also talked about, they made the first mail delivery service. And they ruled their extended kingdom with the governors, chosen to run each fort. They also were the first to develop a standing army. So, the Assyrians may be gone, but they'll never be gone in here. And that's it. And before we go, we'd like to thank a couple of people. Mr. Jarika for being flexible with some schedules.
Miss Stefan.
For being helpful and supportive through all of this. Kevin O'Neill, who did a lot of the technical aspect. Mr. Opperman, who let us borrow his tripod. And I'd like to thank Olivia for bringing some of her props and
I'd like to thank
working
Ashley
on it
so
with
much.
me. So, and I'd also like to thank you guys for watching this. And, oh yeah, and also I would like to thank Mrs. Hannah, who let us borrow these bricks from her 3-year-old class. So, yeah. Just big shout out to everyone there, and goodbye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, we're gonna hang up now. Alright, bye. Okay.